said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy... Flyover State of Fear. Welcome back to Flyover State of Fear with Brian and myself, Joe. How are you, Brian?
Hey, man, I'm great. I'm doing good.
We are
I don't have poison ivy on my penis. That's for sure.
I do. Happy summer. What a great way to celebrate hot Criterion Horror
hot,
Summer.
Itchy Criterion Summer, baby.
Horror Summer. No, there's some personal things going on to that end. I'm not swollen in my face anymore either, so we can record. I don't know if I'd be able to talk about a 1955 black and white phenomenal movie, just swollen and itchy, ridden of just like, it's good.
Hey, I really enjoyed it. You look like Shelley Winters at the bottom of the lake. You're looking
Robert
bad.
But in the meantime, just on top of the episode though, this will be our last recording for a minute or so for people who know. About, when I say minute, about like probably 3 weeks.
We'll take a little break for anybody who cares.
We'll be back before the end of September and Spooks.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, come on, spooky season is a coming.
Yeah. So, but having said that, we are talking about Night of the Hunter today to continue our horror Criterion Summer.
And real quick up top, I should shout out our good friends Morgan and Janine, who we were going to talk about a long time ago having on this episode, but we didn't get it together. You know, scheduling is hard, and we were kind of under the gun to come up with a good horror Criterion. So,
if they ever want to join,
we love those guys. If they ever see this, we love you guys.
We love them, and if they ever want to join,
they probably would have been, honestly, they would have taken all, like, I would not have been able to sound like the smart guy who knew about the movie if they came on. You know?
And they'd be pulling like other movies from these people's filmographies and like facts. And,
I don't need some other podcaster showing me up on my home turf. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got the Criterion.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, we'll get them on with. This is years ago we spoke about this, so no guilt there. But we'll get them on with another movie. Anyway, before we jump in, I mean, real briefly, anything that last few weeks catch your fancy in the horror world?
I did check out Death of the Unicorn is streaming now.
It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? It reminded me a little bit of Abigail. It had the same kind of similar vibe of Abigail. I think Abigail was a little bit better, honestly. But kind of like right in that like wheelhouse, like that level, that quality level.
Yeah, Abigail worked a little better. I mean, more of like it's almost like haunted house kind of, not haunted, like condensed, like.
And nothing against Death of the Unicorn cast, which is actually really good, but I think the Abigail cast was a step up too. Like maybe it was the characterization, maybe it was like the writing,
fine.
But
it was just fine. It was one of those ones where it's like, oh, you had a cool name and a concept and a good cast, and you're a little flimsy on everything else, and I don't know.
I mean, like I said, I think it was fun, and there's some fun violent kills in it, and it's trying to have its own little cute mythology and stuff about it. It was fun. Like I said, fine is a perfect way to describe it.
Yeah,
a fine little like 3-star movie.
Definitely. I checked out. So I did see Alien in the theaters.
Ooh.
Big screen. That was phenomenal as always. Just
finest work.
No real notes to that. Just wanted to get that out there.
Just honestly, just bragging.
Yeah,
really.
And our there's a local like independent theater in Princeton that does like these Hollywood movie night things, and they moved Alien. I think this week, which I missed. Like Heat would have been awesome. They were doing.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'd been fun.
But anyway, the others I just want to mention that I enjoyed. Got around and finally seen Beau is Afraid. Really liked it. Surrealist. I mean, it's not really a horror, but like it's.
Yeah, but I already asked her, like, when you firmly establish yourself as like a genre director, you kind of like we can cover you here too. You know,
It's
we'll keep tabs on you.
It's Kafka-esque, like, you know.
Honestly, I remember watching it. It didn't stick with me very much. Like I liked it. I don't remember disliking it or anything, but it didn't it didn't burn itself into my memory the way Midsummer or something like that did.
No, it's definitely it's to me. I'm like, oh wow, this is the craziest like blank check movie anyone's ever been given.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that was the movie. He was like, it's odd because he was just on that podcast talking about Coens.
Sure.
But do you know this was the one where they were like, what do you want to do? And he's like, you know what? I would love to take $100 million. I don't know how much it costs. And do this. And it's only for him because it's just like this weird, like.
Right. It's a very personal story, obviously. Yeah. I've heard his new movie's pretty good. Eddington. You know, people are saying it's the first really good pandemic movie because it's not about the pandemic, but it actually takes its era specific to the pandemic.
I'll check it out. The other thing I saw in the horror world, and you did too, Final Destination Bloodlines, ton of fun. I think they nailed it. It's funny, the world was telling me that I have to purchase that. I was like, it was not letting me do the illegal thing. So I download it once, whatever. And it's like a bad rip with like cash bill sign. And I'm like, I can't fucking watch this. So then I go, all right, I try it again. I get a higher one. The thing literally would play and then like jump ahead. And I was like, fuck this. And I didn't know it was coming to HBO like yesterday. I just went to Amazon Prime. I was like, all right, great, it's $4 rental. So they got my money. It was really fun. It was really fun. I like its take on it. You know, there's like I give it a good nice like 3.5, but like there is that little like mid-2000s like schlock that was missing from a little bit from some of those real like chintzy ones that I love.
Yeah, I think it was I felt like much like the most recent Jurassic World movie. It felt like a real like meat and potatoes.
Oh yeah, there's no
here's
complaint.
just like a very solid version of what we do here. You know, and I feel like that was fine for this to come back after so long. You almost kind of have to reestablish yourself in that
I'm looking forward to another one.
I'd like to see what the next one's like. Yeah, if they're gonna like actually riff on the ideas from this one at all. I do kind of like the idea that almost every Final Destination movie, this is like an underrated thing about that franchise, I think, they all almost have their own separate gimmick. They don't all follow the gimmick from the first movie. The death order and stuff. There's always like a little twist to it or a little, you know, they kind of always have some kind of new little thing.
Like they do the songs or
the visions are done in a different way or the songs, you know, is used in, they find a little way. So I would like to see them maybe, you know, continue that, not to say not go back and touch on this, but obviously the lady had the whole book of like, you know, different. You could tie it all to that. You could literally tie it all to that book because she followed so many people to weird deaths or whatever. You know,
I do love the there's a lot to go with it. It's not a hot take. Welcome back to that franchise of like
I've always been a big fan. I think that's just a very strong. It's not franchise.
It's right up there with the not in the same of like movie. We love the movies, but like there's really no horrible one. Even the worst one, like a Child's Play series, you're like, okay.
Like everything's worth watching here. You know, there's nothing. There's no. You don't have to skip a bunch of them or anything.
Like even the one which we covered on here with what's your least favorite scary movie or what's your favorite scary movie? I forget the podcast, but. The Final Destination with you. That was like you were just new co-host where you were like, oh Brian, do you want to join? Like, nah. But that was the one with which is considered the worst one, but the one with the racetrack.
Yeah.
And even that one, I'm like, there's some fun in that movie.
Oh no, I think the stuff that hurts that one is it's got like the cheesy 3D visions that he has, or real like kind of like we're trying to do. Avatar came out last year. We're trying to get some 3D shit going.
But you could tell they cut the budgets on it a ton.
Because, it looks terrible.
If you watch it, like the racetrack looks like when like they go to like a sporting event and like everybody loves Raymond, where it's like here's a couple bleachers and like there's
only like 7 people around him.
Fun movie. But yeah, anyway, talking about something completely different in tone, and we're classing it up this week with an
I'll tell you
old
what.
timey picture.
Well, when you're doing Criterions,
19
you're doing class. You know what I
Wow.
mean? You can't help but get the finest of the film nerdiest, broiest. Yeah, exactly. Tea sippinest.
Yeah, so 1955's Charles Laughton's Lawton's
Charles Laughton
film,
directed Charles
The
Laughton.
Night of the Hunter, starring Robert Mitchum and Shelley Winters.
Yeah, and also Lillian Gish. Cannot say enough about. I mean, when we get to Lillian
That
Gish,
was
I'm going to
she's
be Lillian gushing.
you're
You know what I
gishing you're
mean?
gishing for Gertz.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the end. She was the woman at the end, right?
Yeah, she's like Sarah or Rachel.
She was like
I
a
think is the
huge
character's name.
she was like a huge silent star actress. If I'm not, I did
Absolutely.
a little research. But anyway, Brian, you want to give us a little like basic plot of Night of the Hunter and kind of?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, what you have here is Robert Mitchum playing a preacher named Harry Powell. Preacher in quotation marks. He's really a serial killer and hater of women, and he gets murderous rage basically from the sexuality of women. He travels. He has like a twisted mental thing where he thinks he talks to God, and whether it's a justification or he's actually hearing a voice in his head. We never really get into that in the movie, which is fine, I think.
But based off a real guy, based off real killings.
Yeah.
And a novel.
Yeah, and the whole movie is based on a novel. In prison, Robert Mitchum meets the father of two children who has stored some money from a robbery. He finds out about this money when he gets out of prison. He comes to the family's home. He kind of manipulates his way into their lives. He is trying to get this money, find out about this money. The kids know about it. They're trying to keep it secret from him. Eventually, the children are on the run from him. And then the final confrontation when they seek refuge in the house of it's hard to describe. We're not necessarily running an orphanage because also some of the children seem to have mothers who are just kind of like single moms struggling.
Yeah, it's like a caretaker that is
assisted living almost situation. I'm sure some of the children are orphaned, but either way, it leads to a final confrontation when they're under the care of this woman. I wanted to keep it kind of broad, so I want to talk more in detail as we go.
Please.
But I thought that just an overview of the structure of the film.
Well, what's for me? I know this movie as like its legacy, right? Like,
had you ever seen it before this watch?
No, I never even seen it. I've only really ever heard like people like, "Oh, that's so good," or like basically any of your favorite or any of the big time directors are like, this is such an influence on me. Like, I mean, we even see watching this movie, unfortunately, I was doing a thing where I was like, oh, that's, so and so used this in this movie. The big time, like one of the biggest influences, like Martin Scorsese, like that iris shot in there is.
Well, sure. And I mean, a lot of, they talk about a lot of impressionistic, set dressing and kind of like the kind of
it's like German expressionism.
Right, and the kind of almost like blending of reality and fantasy when the kids are on the run and like making it feel kind of surreal.
Well, so there's a fairy tale. Then always those shots always of like animals and stuff in the frame, and it's very like this fairy tale those kids are on. At least when they're on the river.
Animals appear real big, like giant bunny rabbits, and the kids look real small. They talked about. I also just upon because this happens to be the 70th anniversary of this movie, and just for the people out there, we're actually recording this on Robert Mitchum's birthday as well.
Wow,
I just saw that.
That is.
I know, man. We just can't help it. It's in the air. But I read an article in Fangoria about the movie, and they were talking about all the horror influences of like religious horror and characters like Tilda Swinton in Constantine and Saint Maud in Saint Maud, and just the people who are these like religious zealots who turn their faith into horror.
Because
they brought up The Exorcist 3 as well as like influenced by this. Where
well, even like, I mean, just even its look. Like, what's so cool about this movie, like, I don't know if you, like, there's some shots where, like, the rooms they have just look so fucking huge. Like especially that one shot where he's standing above Shelley Winters, and like that room is just small but dark and huge, and like like you get a lot of good things with the kid's perspective. But yeah,
that was part of it too. They talk about, and of course, will shock no one who watched our Silence of the Lambs episode to know that I tried to dig into some of the special features on this, and they talk about that as well, of like shooting it in the way that like a child's memory might feel.
Yeah.
So there's times when he's like walking through town and there's a fence, but there's no house behind the fence. Because in your memory, you don't remember the house. You just remember the fence. Maybe you rattled a stick along it and like you'll think about that, but you don't remember the type of house it was in front of. Or when he's walking into the city, there's like signs, but no real businesses or buildings, just like these bright neon signs. And it gives it this kind of like surreal fantasy, but makes it feel like that childlike perspective or like a memory or a dream,
It's very, it's that's you down. It's surreal and dreamlike. That's a good note. I didn't even realize about the fence and everything, because that's where that feels right after like.
Again, I'm quoting from smart people on the DVD. These
but
are
after
not my
like
original thoughts.
Harry Powell comes into basically the minute he steps foot in that town, it's dreamlike. But the movie starts dreamlike. You get this like intro song with these floating heads.
Yeah, the disembodied heads, and I feel like they wanted to let you know Lillian Gish was going to be in the movie, but like she doesn't come into the third act, and they were like, "Don't forget about Lillian Gish,"
because it doesn't like fit too much. Like you're like, oh okay, and then we start, and it's just like. It's like,
I mean, it's like this. There's a lot of it fits because the movie does have a lot of like it uses song in a lot of different ways, and like
it's the religious. It's like
and it's got the religious element. So I don't feel like it's not totally. It's fine. It's a weird way to start a movie when like looking back on it with our modern sensibilities. But I feel like it's thematically fine.
Sure, it doesn't.
Before we talk too much about the movie, let me real quick talk a little bit about Charles Laughton, just because. He's kind of an interesting guy. I feel like the thing he's become is like a Twitter answer to the question, like, who's the best director that only ever directed one movie? And people will be like, that's like, immediately everybody's like, oh, Charles Laughton, Night of the Hunter. What I didn't know, and what I think a lot of people don't know, is that he was a pretty famous actor in like the 30s and 40s.
I knew that from research. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And that like at the time to predict that he would have been most famous as a director would have been like laughable, because he was like a legitimate big deal, like famous actor. And
this was a movie that like upon making it like a release, they're like, this is suicide. Like, why would you do this? It's a German expressionist. Like, we don't make movies like this anymore.
He'd been doing Broadway, he'd been directing plays and doing Broadway and stuff, and he was looking for a project, a film, and I think this is, I mean, obviously everybody, it seemed like, everybody behind, how behind the scenes features gush and, people, but it seemed legitimately like everybody loved him. There was a interesting thing I saw, one of his biographers was on there talking about how he was a closeted gay man. And that that he took more interest in this because of the religious nature of the villain, the oppression of religion. That's the way he felt. He felt that in his life. And I thought that was an interesting, angle that I had not heard before.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I've never heard that angle.
People, physical media, baby, get with it.
Gotta do it.
Streaming special features, no commentary.
Guys,
nothing.
Be like me. I just took a gamble on it. I was like, you know what? I know I'm gonna like it.
Right. It's one of those things like, sometimes I'm really a big proponent. I do not usually buy movies I've never seen. It's something I've been burned too many times. But come on. Sometimes a classic's a classic for a reason,
There's a value point of never seen, right? Like this would be something I would never do because it's like $20 or something. But like, something like that. That Wes Craven Prevents Chiller with that Paul Severino on the cover. That was like $4 on eBay. I'm like, well, this is just funny.
I have to have that. Yeah,
I haven't watched. My friend.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There's a price level.
Yeah, my friend that I sent that to, that photo, and I was like, I bought it. Like he messaged me like about 2 months later. He's like, did you see it? And I'm like, no.
Oh, let's just say that I'm not going to get Adrian Brody's The Jacketed again. Okay, I'm not. That's not going to happen to me.
Oh man, I can't believe you just brought up The Jacket. At least for my like age, that used to be a movie that people would like. You meet someone who'd be like, heady, and you'd be talking about the ones that Tom up.
Oh, you ever seen The Jacket?
Yeah, like Donnie Darko would always come up, right? And
Butterfly Effect, which we've covered on this show.
And the
Jacket feels right in the wheelhouse.
Jacket was always like the third or fifth, and it's fucking nuts. I remember one of my early movie friends who she was really into, like, I remember she talked about it a ton, but once again, when I say like early, like 12, 13, like that makes sense for there's no judgment.
Right. Oh no judgment. Absolutely not.
I'm coming in.
You have to learn about movies.
I'm coming to people going, Fight Club? Now that's a picture. This is a good movie, but like 13-year-old boy Fight Club is like, I get it.
Yeah.
This is cinemas. Anyway, but no, Night of the Hunter is cinema.
For real.
But yeah,
it's like I said, it's the real deal. And unfortunately, we should say before we get going, Charles Laughton unfortunately passed away before this movie could be properly reevaluated as the classic that is known as today. He did not survive to enjoy its legacy, but that's a tragedy.
Yeah, it is a tragedy, because that's what he said. I know it was like one quote, and it was like, after he's like, "No, I did that. I could go back to the theater, and if I want to change something, I could change it every night." Like,
yeah,
so clearly disheartening.
But imagine making this movie that we watched and being like, that's not quite right. It's not quite good enough. Be like, God damn, dude. Some people so casually make the most beautiful art. I was watching this goddamn Billy Joel documentary, and I know a lot of people will be like, Billy Joel doesn't make art. He's a pop dude. He's just a fucking bubblegum singer. That motherfucker's an artist. Yeah. I'll fight you. But to have him, he was on there like, it's hard to write a song that resonates and this, that, and the other. And I was like, motherfucker did it like 3 times an album for 2 decades.
I was going to say that.
This dude was just dropping pop hits through the 80s, 70s, and 80s, like blah, 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 blah. Anyway, people who are casually talented are very aggravating.
I just casually made The Stranger.
Yeah. I tripped and fell and made, Piano Man. Whoops.
Such a burden.
It's like he's talking about doing River of Dreams, and he's like pretty much done. He's going to retire. He's not going to do songwriting anymore. He's kind of like finished. Mm-hmm. And he's like, and he literally with the surprise of like, and release it, and the song became a hit. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I love Billy Joel. I would never fuck you, Billy Joel.
No, we love Billy Joel. This is my wedding song, wedding singer.
Yeah.
But no, I like, I also, the opposite end of this is, you're talking about how like Charles Laughton, like it's an interesting case. Like you have the opposite end of like Robert Mitchum, who like, I only know this because doing research here, like known, like I'm saying of the time drug user. I think he just smoked a lot of weed. Like was a booze hound. Like there's famous stories from this set of like showed up drunk and they were like, "Where have you been?" And he's like, "Whatever." Like pissed in like a producer's like radiator, like front car seat.
Amazing.
Like real story. Like it's one or the other.
Classic old Hollywood shit.
Yeah, like real old Hollywood, and like definitely butted heads with like the director of things. But apparently he also had this attitude of like he wouldn't take credit for anything, even though he's a great actor. He wouldn't take credit for anything, but he was just like, who cares?
Just real humble about it all the time. Like
I don't even know if that's humble, because I think he clearly would do something like this and like he's caring. But like the best way to describe him is like he did a lot of pictures with like John Travolta's currently doing. Just to be like, sure, but then he would show up every once in a while.
Yeah. Just like as Robert Mitchum in things. Like he doesn't have to do much, just be himself, and people are like, that rips.
Yeah.
You know, that's great. We love that.
Yeah. And then like this. No, he's doing
this is like probably obviously one of his best performances.
Well, it's funny that you bring the performance up, and I want to just tie it to another episode we did. So I already mentioned like Scorsese, huge influence of this movie, right? Like, I mean, this movie and the other directors.
I mean, obviously he did Cape Fear, Robert Mitchum, the original, he's Max Cady.
But that's what I want to ask is when they're in the river, that scene, I'm pretty sure, I've never seen the original Cape Fear, I want to make it clear. I'm pretty sure that like Marty was taking that from Night of the Hunter, of him in the water and the kids getting away in the boat. They're shot just the same.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah, I think
mean,
so. Absolutely.
I mean, even the way he's talking, he's not speaking in religious tongues, but he's getting close to it. And then, like, the movie keeps going. But, like, that whole water shot, I'm like, that's from Night of the Hunter. I don't need to watch Cape Fear to know that's not the end of that Cape Fear.
Yeah, he's pulling from multiple sources here.
Yes. Anyway, I guess moving on a little bit. But yeah, um, he's in prison, preaching. He has love,
Well,
hate.
yeah, we should. We meet him leaving his the scene of his last crime,
Yeah.
right? And then he doesn't get picked up for that murder. He gets busted for like a carjack or no,
Yeah.
stealing a car. So he gets like 3 months.
But
When he's in prison, he meets Ben Harper, played by Peter Graves.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't talked about before they get to the prison. We do get our intro of him and the kids. We get the scene. We don't really know. Again, I love movies that just like give you enough to like let that. That's something I'm really learning to appreciate about older films. Is like there's less hand holding in them. Like they treat you like an adult. Like they let you just know what's going on. Like I don't need to know. I don't need the cop to roll up and be like, he was at a bank robbery and blah 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 and yakety yak. It's just like dude rolls up. He's clearly panicked. He stashes this money with the kids, makes them swear they won't tell anybody. Cops show up. Boom, arrested.
He puts the money in like, he's like, I'll put it where no one's ever going to look, and you hang on to it. Yeah, yeah. And then arrested, and it goes back to like his internal thought of like that moment with his kid.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to tell us anymore. I'm like, I know what it is. There's money here. And then basically they confide in each other, the two criminals.
Yeah, when they're in prison, not even so much confiding. It's like Robert Mitchum's real. He's a manipulator.
He's manipulating. He's not confide, but he's
working Ben. He's like, come on, you stole that money. Where'd you stash that money? Tell me about that money. Blah 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 blah. And I can't remember if he does say something to the effect of like, that money's for my kids, or my kids will never have to work. I can't remember if he tips to Robert Mitchum in some way.
I think he tips off like the kids know about it, like of all the people. So that gives okay, I can go find it because so $10,000 in like 1955 is like roughly $110,000.
Still quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't mention that Ben, their dad, does get hanged too. Like he's dead. He is dead. And they do a little thing here that I think I didn't remember, but like they spend just a moment going home with the hangman, and you see his life for just a second. You see
he's like
he's like, well, his wife is there, and like he has a couple kids, and they just have a little chat, and he kind of talks about retiring or something. I can't remember.
It's a weird scene.
It's a weird little scene, and it really exists only to pay off at the very end when you see him again. But like, I remember making a little note of like, that's an interesting little moment. And then of course there's a payoff, but I didn't remember that, from my last time watching.
I love weird little scenes like that in any movie, wherever we go. Yeah. Like you mentioned, like, talking about, it's not that, but there's there are a few of them. Exorcist 3 is filled with these weird little fucking scenes. Anyway, but yeah, I love a weird scene in a movie that it's like, wait, we're just going to go follow this guy home?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. It's like the hangman, huh? Okay. He's a character now, I guess.
Maybe he has a bigger part in the book. Yeah, in the book, he's not a preacher.
Oh, no?
No, he's like a businessman.
Okay. See, I think I like that. I like that they added that religious element.
Yeah, I think that, and that's probably
makes it a lot stronger.
That was probably a lot harder to get past too, because like religion was so
way more ubiquitous. Yeah,
not something you would make a movie about, or especially someone being a villain of, or like. I think this movie gives it complex.
I was gonna say, did it not pass the Hays Code? Was the Hays Code still in effect?
Don't know if it was in effect, but if you look at its like rating, it says accept it.
Okay.
But I think that usually is. But no, I think why it is it having what's her name? Lillian Gish.
Lillian Gish, yeah.
Like she's like the positive of religion. At the end of this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I have some notes about when we get to that, the contrast, like how it's used and how she's portrayed.
Yeah, like I think if she doesn't exist and he's just a religious serial killer who's feeling like more than thou, and like because he doesn't think he's full of shit. Like that's what's so creepy about Mitchum's character to me is like Oh,
he's
like,
a true believer. He's not like
he's a self-imposed minister or a preacher that is a true believer.
yeah. And also, like I said, we never get any kind of indication whether the God he's talking to is just like, you know, his own kind of justification and like kind of more of like an external monologue, or if he actually is hearing voices. You know what I mean? We never really know that. It could be that he's that type too. So we meet Willa Harper. That's Shelley Winters. She's kind of a struggling single parent, you know. Obviously, I think you're meant to. There's some things here that are implied because of like her situation in the time that you might not register now. Like she's with her husband was like a criminal. She's a little bit more like promiscuous.
I would say she's supposed to be
like,
a bit of a floozy, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Probably had a couple of kids, you know, too young, and is married to this kind of bad boy who, you know, who obviously robbed a bank, killed a cop, and got hung, you know.
Is dealing with the fucking most annoying, meddling neighbor that's ever existed.
The lady she works for is okay. We're talking about Icy Spoon. Great name, first of all.
Icy Spoon.
Her name is Icy Spoon. The character's name, Icy Spoon, and she works at Spoon's, which is like a like an ice cream candy shop type place. Little bar you can sit.
But I think Icy.
She's the secondary villain of this movie.
Well, she's
like
the one
Robert
that gets...
Mitchum. She actually is like a Robert Mitchum enabler.
Yeah, well, she's it literally wouldn't happen if she wasn't like. So I'm, you know, saying, I could tell a lot about this woman, knowing of like the type she is, the way Icy Spoon's treating her, of like, you raise those kids and you're not married anymore, get married. This guy, like, because at first, like Shelley Winters' instincts are to not be like won over by this preacher man.
Yeah, she's suspicious a little bit. But we also do get the impression that she could use some help. Like the kids, she's not making sure the kids are getting to school real regular. Yeah. She's not, you know what I mean? Like they're definitely trying to imply that she's struggling, I guess I would say. I mean, we also I don't want to miss out. We need to introduce John, the son. Well, John and Pearl are the kids.
Well, John is the most...
John's a fucking king, man. He's the hero of this goddamn movie.
He's just immediately, he's like, this is not the guy.
Yeah. Well, he gets, you know, he's got a little, it's traumatizing for John when he sees his father arrested, but he knows we made him a promise. Pearl is a real child. She's actually acts like a real child,
yes.
Which means it's hard for him to make her understand the importance of things and for her to have object permanence. Mm-hmm. The little actress is great. She's so good. She has one of my favorite lines when they're talking about, I think she said something. They're talking about running away, and he says, we'll eat an apple or get you an apple. And she goes, "You'll spoil your suppy." I just loved her little. She's so funny. Anyway, little Pearl, she's a wonderful little idiot. She's actually, I call her an idiot, but she's just a real child.
She's just a child.
She acts like a real act. And so many kids in movies are like too smart. You know what I mean? She's very realistic. I love.
Well, it's Pearl. Even like when little further, like when Preach is chasing them and they're in the basement, and like Icy Spoon and like John knows the weight of this, but like Icy Spoon comes in and is like, "Come on, kid, stop playing around." Like Pearl wants to get up and listen to the adult.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. When he comes to town, Pearl is immediately won over. Pearl just wants her daddy. She wants a daddy, you know, and like she's young enough that she will just let this man come in and fill that spot, and that becomes a problem for John. Also, John is friends with Birdie, who's like the local drunk kind of.
Oh, I felt bad for Birdie.
He lives in a houseboat down on the river. You know?
A movie today is probably just of its time, just because of my sensibilities. Movies today, I'm like, oh, Birdie's gonna like get murdered on this chase to.
Oh yeah.
You know, and even it's just sad. Like, so the big, you know, Birdie, like he tells John, like, he kind of says, like, I don't trust this guy. If you need to run away, come to me. I will be there to help. I'm your Uncle John.
When Birdie's also supposed to be fixing up his dad's boat. Bernie's supposed to be fixing up his dad's boat for him. John wants, and he does. They go out fishing together and stuff.
And that's when he talks in the speech that gives him that heads up. And that's one of my sensibilities of movie watching where, oh no, this guy's toast.
Yeah.
Movie's a little more not as predictable as that, which is nice. They just give you that. I'm just gonna say what happens because it's now hard to talk about it without. So they get married, like he marries in, and almost instantly, like so, the night like the wedding night almost goes to make a pass, and then Meacham like on a dime turns to like, you're just in for like lust. You're disgust. Like you should be birthing children. Disgust and like
we haven't talked
Shelley
enough
Winters
about the actual like his use of the gospel and his use of religion yet, and I think it factors into what you're talking about here. When he first meets, when he first comes to the Spoon's shop and he's meeting everybody. This is our first time he tells the story of love and hate, the right hand, left hand. Which I'm gonna get this out here. I don't know if this is a hot take or whatever, but this shit is a garbage story. It doesn't make a lick of sense. It doesn't mean anything. No, and I think it's meant. Like I think they're doing that on purpose. Obviously, I think that's a purposeful choice. It's to show how like shallow and hollow his preaching is. But I hate how well it works on all the fucking rubes. Like that's what makes me so mad.
Even in its most famous one in Do the Right Thing, it's the same.
Yeah,
that speech is done the same way. It's clearly an influence, but it's the same thing. It's just like sounds cool,
right?
But and it works on rubes.
Yeah,
but it's pointless.
Yeah. But like I just want to establish that we've seen him do that and we've seen him mesmerize these local yokels a couple different times. So by the time we're getting to the wedding night and he's like fully indoctrinating her now, obviously we're in a movie timeline, so everything's fast forwarded, but like he basically kind of like breaks her brain by like slut shaming her about wanting to consummate their marriage.
Yes, and it's crazy,
and she kind of turns that energy to like religious zealotry of her own and becomes like a mouthpiece for him. Yeah,
and like this movie generally, I can't stress enough, looks so beautiful, and that whole scene of the shit like looks
the contrast and light and shadows. Like obviously, I don't know shit about cinematography.
No,
I know when a movie looks good though, and this movie looks incredible, and like the shot you can really feel the craft in the shots. You know what I mean? Like the way the shadows are so precise, the way the lines are, you know what I mean? Everything is so clearly methodical. So there's also a great interview with the cinematographer on this bad boy.
I will check it out. But so he immediately like shames her, and like you said, to being her own sort of zealot, which seems very, opposite of who we've been introduced to, but I guess is my husband now. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he kills her.
Yeah, I mean,
I like before he kills her, she finds the switchblade and she's just like, there's a gender theme in this movie. She's like, boys will be boys, whatever.
Yeah. And she's doing like classic bad mom stuff, unfortunately. She's like not believing John. John's trying to tell her that this guy's after the money, and I love she does the classic like, well, I asked him and he said no, so clearly I have to believe him and not my son. Like it's just that's very, very frustrating and to see. But also indicative of a real thing that unfortunately happens to a lot of kids when, their lives are upended by a person. And it might not even be that their mom is bad. She's just weak-willed and she's easily manipulated and she's being abused mentally also, So it's just that's the thing about this movie. It's not scary in your conventional horror way, but like the social dynamics of it are very upsetting and hard to watch. And like
the way he's a like pariah into it and and like, I mean, even that of like
watching him break this family apart and tear it down and
John gets told, or he's like not told. We're like, see, like he doesn't sleep, he doesn't do anything. He's just always looking. Like there is that I say whimsical, but not some whimsical. That like fairy tale, like element to his presence, and you said he's breaking everything down.
He does feel like a fantasy villain almost, like the Hansel, the witch and Hansel and Gretel or something.
Yeah, like with the singing while like later on the horse and like simultaneously. And
yeah, they introduce his singing as a form of menace and this kind of like an intimidation tactic.
Let's talk about influence again. Sinners recently.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's a good pull. Oh, that's a really good pull, Joe. Nice.
Thanks, man. I got it. Sometimes.
This show, man, it's almost like you should have a podcast, dude.
You guys should get one too. You get some good ideas. Because when you just talk casually about these things to people without your trusted buddy, you're like, why are you talking about? Explosions go boom.
Yeah, you can't talk to the normies at work like this. They think you're fucked up. You mention a director's previous work to somebody, you've lost. That's it. The conversation's already over. You've already fucked it up.
But no, so
Henry kills Willa in an incredible scene. I love the way he like lunges and like the arm is so straight. The way like everything about that shot is so good.
It's that's what I said. It's like I know it's like hacked just like the shots, but really that was like a lot of my thing. It was like, wow, the fucking like just scene setups and like
the visuals of this movie are incredible. I'm like, it's no doubt about it.
It's worth the price of admission for that shit. But anyway, he kills.
Talking about German expressionism, and they talk again. They bring this up on the Blu-ray, but they're talking about something like the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which is like the most famous. But like they do it with painted backgrounds and these big sets. They're painting the background in this one too, but with light and shadow. And that's, I mean, maybe that sounds hacky, but like, that's the truth. It's just that's like literally it's done it's like on a master level. It's really great.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, yeah. Number one and done director answer.
Yeah. Easy. So easy. So Harry tells Willa everybody ran off. He's playing the martyr again. Oh, poor. She ran off. She left me with his kids. Poor. And I'm just a good man trying to take care of them.
I'll take care of the children, this and that. And
we get the most famous shot from this movie, which is Willa in the car under the water.
It's a creepy shot. Like,
very much so.
Going like this, and it looks like the actress was down there just holding her breath. I know it wasn't. I know it was
So the author of the book sent a lot of sketches to Charles Laughton, the director. He wanted them. He was happy to have. Like, he sent one thing. He was talking, like they were having a conversation, and he like drew something out, a little sketch, and sent it to him. And Charles Laughton was like, "Oh my God, more of that." Cool. So again, if you flip through the Criterion, you can see those sketches, and you can see like his drawing of Willa under the water. And a lot of these shots are recreated from those pictures. They might actually be on the disc, though. They might not be in the book.
So they're not. That's incredible.
I think it's like a special feature, one of those things where you flip through it with the DVD, and it's like the images are on the screen. So
incredible, though.
But really cool stuff. And again, one of them was this shot of Willa in the car under the water. And like I said, when you see the image, it's really rad to see how they adapted it to screen. Bertie sees her, but unfortunately, Bertie is too cowardly to tell the authorities. He's too worried that they're going to think he did this.
Yeah, and he gets blacked out drunk. He's like just in his sorrow. And
so again, another... And it turns, and it's sad, and it's also another situation where coming up here, John's going to need him, and yet another adult in John's life is going to fail him. And that's another thing that we're building up to when he finally gets to Miss Rachel, is how every adult in John's life has failed him. Like his dad, his mom, his Bertie. Yeah, everybody is like actively, failing John, and he is just on his fucking own. This kid is, and that's why he's a legend, though. He's so good. Like,
it's great too. It's like
kid actor's got the best smirk too. There's a couple times he delivers a couple lines and he shoots that little corner of his mouth up.
He has a good smirk, and they didn't write him much. He doesn't have much to say, but he's doing great face acting.
Well, yeah, and he's that's the thing, though. He's not a little kid chatterbox. He's not Pearl. He's his own. He's already a little man. He's seen some shit. When he saw his dad get arrested, that fucked him up.
Well, it tells you later on.
Yeah. Like I said, like I like that too. Again, you were talking about expectations. That's a thing that we'll talk about when we get there. But that's a thing that's a twist you would not expect from a modern movie.
There's a few things like that. Even like her ending, like, you know, the last 15 minutes or like the epilogue almost.
Yeah.
You don't get those in a modern movie. It's like, we see the court trial and this and that. And,
Yeah.
but so the kids, like one night he's like,
Well, he's got the kids to himself now. No more barriers. He can do whatever he wants.
And he's like, where's the money? I know you kids know where the money is.
I love little Pearl is like too frustrating. She's like, she like has the code to break him. Like he could easily get Pearl to tell him, but he's too frustrated with her like childlike dumbness, and he overplays his hand and he scares her, and he fucks it up. Like he probably could have found it out. She's so desperate for a daddy. She likes him because he gives her the attention and affection that she's missing. All he has to do, but he's such an evil fucker that he can't keep the facade up long enough. And his
John.
Well, and you cannot disregard his disdain for women, and that includes children. And later, he's about ready to stab little Ruby, too.
I didn't ask John this. And like, but John is like, I'll tell you, it's in the, you know, he's like, it's in the concrete under the house. So they go down there and they have the basically thing, and Ruby, you know, not Ruby, sorry.
Pearl.
Pearl.
Yeah. I didn't mean to introduce another name that's also a similar stone.
No, you're right. Pearl, her little kidness gives in and like suppose like it's not under there.
Well, yeah, once he threatens John's life, he knows how, you know, once he finally like, you know, he literally threatens to stab John, and Pearl like gives it up, obviously.
Yeah. As she should.
Yeah.
And it's like a Frankenstein type escape of him like following them with his arms out, and like the kids.
I love John quick thinking. I get that John was like, we'll go down to the basement. There might be an opportunity for me to do something down there. And there was. He ends up dropping the shelf on him, and they managed to get away in the scramble, and they get the money. But yeah, I love, like you're talking about, he's almost like he's a monster coming up the stairs, all, you know, again, like the only light is like coming from the door, and he's like coming up out of the darkness at him. It's, oh, man.
And the monster, you know, and we know like this money is in this doll, this and that. And they're chasing them, and they get into this boat.
Birdie's useless. They already can't help them. So they jump in the boat,
and then this is like where that fairy tale begins, because it is like, okay, now we're watching, you know, we're watching Preach try to find them from like town to town, but they're just been on the river this whole time.
Yeah, they're like Huck Finning it down the river.
Yeah,
like living off charity and such. He's working his way kind of from town to town looking for him.
Yeah, and they're like staying in abandoned houses. That's where you get that great like on the horse, like with the song and like.
Well, yeah, they rest one night and he's already on them, and yeah, he's on
and is he there? He thinks he hears them, right? They don't actually have an encounter, but you know, like it's like, oh, okay, we got to get back on that boat.
They have that great shot from the barn where you see him on the horse on the hillside, and that was all done in one shot with a little person on a pony.
Yeah.
It's not obviously right, but it's not. It's also not really a special effect. It's more like a forced perspective thing.
It's awesome.
It's so good. It's so great. I just love I love old timey movie magic. It's so fun.
It's incredible. It's incredible. You know, this is not old timey. What I want to say, but it is modern, and they use only old timey factors. I was hyping up the other day. I was telling people, I was like, go online and watch the special features for Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
Yeah, Bram Stoker, the 91. Yeah, the 91.
Because they used strictly all of those techniques. And I only say that because the special features really do show you what you would have seen in, like, you know, the 50s. I was telling someone, talking about features, like, it's like, that's one movie or not, you'll get an idea of how great, like, the practical effects were, because they were mimicking them and, like, really, you know, Coppola making a point, like, I don't need to do it, you know, I don't need the blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I love old-timey movie magic.
It's so good.
I know 1990 is not old-timey, but
he was doing it old-timey style.
Yes, that was my point of saying is if you want to see a special feature of how they were doing it. Yeah, I mean, even like we talked already, like the animals, right? Like the rabbits and the frogs, like that even reminds me of like like I said, I can't help but keep thinking of like modern movies using certain things. Um, the I might be pulling threads here that don't belong, but
I figured it.
the Nicolas Cage Bad Lieutenant by Werner Herzog. There are like that like odd shots of like things going on in the background, and it's just like an iguana in the foreground. And like that reminded me so much of like something's going on, but like here's this rabbit.
Werner Herzog's a fucking genius, man. Like the fact that he even made a Bad Lieutenant movie is bananas. It's so funny. Like
That movie is bananas.
I know I've never seen it. It's one of those ones I keep meaning because I love Werner Herzog. His documentaries. I finally got around to watching Fitzcarraldo this year, and it was great.
It's weird. It's one of those movies that's like just fucking crazy, but it's like so it's like there's like thought in its craziness.
Yeah.
So it made it 1,000 scenes made that, Nicolas Cage loses his shit for 10 minutes or whatever, that old meme. Yeah. But in the movie, like he's clearly doing, it's the Cage that did Vampire's Kiss of like,
sure,
this is my acting, and it's a fun movie. It's a fucking weird movie. It's a fun movie. It's trying to be like a commentary on like Katrina. It takes place all like it's New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth the.
I would watch it just as a Werner Herzog Nicolas Cage collab. I'd watch it just for that.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it's worth a one-time watch, even if it ends up being terrible. Which I don't
say. It's been a long time since I've seen it. We used to watch it on a Cage drinking marathon because there's so many silly scenes in it. But it's definitely worth it for like if you're like, I feel like this little artistic picture that gets a little weird every once in a while. It's one of those.
Yeah. But anyway, there's right up my alley, baby.
There's some shots in it that I'm like doing mental gymnastics from like, another Night of the. I'm going to be doing that for the next like month. I'm going to see like, Night of the Hunter.
Well, because the influence of Night of the Hunter literally has permeated culture now. We're living in a world where every director has I was
listening
that in.
Oh, sure. I mean, literally, it's in. As always, I have the Wikipedia next to me. They list 6 directors, and it's like before bio, like Robert Altman, Spike Lee, Martin Scorsese, Coen Brothers, Del Toro. Right? That's probably just to name a few.
Right off the top. Yeah.
It's so funny too because like I didn't know this, and I like doing research for this movie. Like that Irish shot that's used in this movie. Apparently, that was like an old thing they did in like silent pictures and like and maybe even German expressionism itself. But when this movie came out, people were like, why are they doing this? This is like, movies don't do this anymore.
What's this weird old timey?
And now like
they're like, we have Lillian Gish in our movie. Okay, she's a silent film star. We're doing silent film.
And now movies don't. And now the movie reference for something like the Irish.
Now you would rack focus on that, right?
Yeah. Now it's in like 5 Scorsese pictures I can think of.
Yeah.
To go. But back to, you know what? You mentioned Gish. We could go right to her.
Well, yeah, we're about at basically the kids wash up on her shore.
And it's like hot. It's cool. It's a great scene because it's like hostile. These kids are like dirty and in a boat. But
they literally have been on the run.
Mm-hmm. And there's
places who have given them food, but like they can't keep them. They're like, keep it moving.
Yeah, there's a woman, or Gish, Rachel, who like
Rachel
at first,
Cooper, I believe.
Rachel Cooper, who at first, and she has that bit of sass. She pulls. She's like, I better give you a lash, and then you realize,
get you in, give you a bath, you stinking little reps, ruffians or whatever, ragamuffins. That's the I used to say when I was a kid. Ragamuffins.
I've heard that. And then what's cool about it is like, which again we learn they're not her kids, but like her kids pop into the scene, so it diffuses this scariness you have of like this woman just wants to like take them in, but like,
well, right, because, and honestly, this movie up until this point, has there been an adult you could trust?
No.
Exactly. Icy Spoon and her husband are useless. We already talked about everybody else. So like now we have an older woman who this could be, in a dumber, shittier movie. This lady brings him in and she has like a kid, like a kid prison, and she's like a slave, she's got kids as slave labor on her farm or something,
Gretel and Hansel, or Hansel and Gretel, basically,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. So where they've set you up to be wary at first, and we see these other kids, but immediately she is, she talks the, she has that she cleans them up, and then they have that trip into town, right? And I remember the first time I watched it, and I wrote it down again this time. Her line, "I'm a strong tree with branches for many birds. I'm good for something in this old world, and I know it too." And goddamn, like, what a great line for her. Like, she's so good in that moment.
Is. I mean, I think like it's so good. It's so foresightful of like that is her destiny was to help these kids.
She knows her role. She's like, and she's estranged from her own son.
We know that we
find that out. She's not perfect. She's estranged from her own son, and we don't really find out but she knows that there's some kids in this world that need a specific type of help, and she can give it.
And like, I mean, the biggest example is like Ruby, right? Of like, there's this girl or there's this teen, she's a bit older, but she does need me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to jump ahead, but we'll get to that too. We get, when they come home, Rachel tells the story of Moses, and the contrast here of how pure her story sounds compared to the twisted gospel that we've heard from Harry the whole time.
And love.
Yeah, and like her just not even like just the way, not only the way she tells it, but the love in her voice and like the like heartfeltness of the story or whatever is such a great contrast. And it's the first time we ever see John get a moment of respite in the movie. He finally has like a moment to breathe, and he asks her to tell him the story again. You're right. Literally for the first time in the movie, he feels safe.
Yeah, because he doesn't even like. I mean, Rachel makes such a point to be like, say something, don't talk, and then eventually he does talk. He feels safe. He's walking around with her.
Yeah,
they have a trust.
Yeah, but then we get to what you were talking about with Ruby. While Ruby's in town, Ruby, she's interested in boys. She's a teen.
Yeah,
she likes attention. She's interested in boys. They're interested in her. She goes into town and she sees some boys, but she gets kind of swooped in on by Robert Mitchum.
Mm-hmm.
He's got wind that maybe there's these new kids in town. He asks Ruby about it. He buys her a phosphate or something.
Yeah, she gets an ice cream.
But again, he almost she kind of comes on to him a little bit, and it almost sends him into a murderous rage. Luckily, there's it's like a public street is the only thing that keeps her from getting stabbed right there.
But she goes home fucking buzzing about it. She's like, I did something.
Oh, even when he's haunting them later, she's still a little she still got it for him.
There's that she has a oh.
Again, it's the same thing. It's obviously a different emotion they're showing, but it's also similar to what happened with Pearl. She sees him as someone who can give her a thing that she's missing, and that male attention, and and this isn't from the boys. This is a man. This is a powerful man, and that's. But she comes home and she confesses to Rachel about what happened, and ends up talking about the man, and Rachel figures it out. But there's such a great moment here with her where you would expect her to be like, you stupid, slutty girl, you can't. But she reacts with compassion.
Well, she says, I get it. Yeah, everyone wants to be loved.
You're looking for love, and you don't know anything but, and this is all you know, the only way you know to go after it, and
such a sweet scene.
Yeah. It's again, Rachel Cooper quickly becoming one of my favorite characters in the history of movies.
She's so cool.
She's incredible.
Well, then Preach comes right about then.
Yep, that's right around the time.
And I love his new story to her with the kids.
Yeah,
because it's so full of shit.
Right.
Because
she's on to him kind of right away.
Well, she doesn't really respect immediately
Nope, the love and hate thing doesn't work on her. She's immediately she doesn't even let him get into it. She's like, I don't need to hear that shit. Shut up. Yeah. And she does a thing that Shelley Winters never did, which was she believes John. She listens to John. When John says, that's not my daddy, she's immediately like, no, it ain't no preacher neither. And then she turns around and goes right in and gets her gun. And I love the contrast
Well,
of Robert Mitchum's little switchblade has been so powerful and kind of menacing,
big,
and she whips out this fucking
long.
big giant shotgun,
She
and it's like that's not. He's just
well,
got nothing anymore.
well, for the juxtaposition there, like I'm kind of doing it on my desk right now. We're sitting like his body like trying to get underneath the house to hang him, and then not even aware of that big gun, and immediately like, oh, okay, I'll be back.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny too. He never comes back with like a gun or anything. He just comes.
No, he
back.
never tries to up the ante. Again, he's overconfident in his like skill to like frighten and manipulate them.
Well, he once again the sexes. He sees it's a woman.
Right.
He's
It's just this is just a woman. He's never gonna respect her enough.
Because that night when she's with the kids, hey, y'all stay in your rooms, come down. He's just waiting outside, and she's holding that shotgun.
Yeah.
And she goes, all right, I'm gonna shoot you, come, and she does, and he goes running away into the barn.
I love the way she like steals the power from his song. He's sitting out there doing his menacing,
she sings it back.
Leaning on the other, and she just kicks right in. She's like makes it a duet, and it like steals the power from him. And yeah, I love the scene when she actually shoots him. It very much reminds me of when they shoot Kurt Russell in Death Proof. He's been so scary and menacing, and he's so cocky, and they shoot him, and immediately he's like, ah!
The scream is so good.
Yeah,
it's a wimpy. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the last time we see Robert Mitchum as anything but terrifying or anything terrifying. It's important to talk about the arrest. The cops do show up. He's hiding out in the barn. She shoots him. He runs off into the barn, but they got him like trapped in there basically. So the cops come to get him, and as he's getting arrested, it very much mimics the scene with John's dad.
And this is when
he
John
got arrested, and this kind of triggers John's PTSD.
breaks down and is like, because it's like this look, though, like, aren't you happy? Like, basically had like others like, aren't you happy? Like thing. Yeah. And he goes running over, like hitting him with the doll. The money's flying out everywhere, and he's crying of like, no, not dad again, but it's not about that. It's just this PTSD.
Well, it's like what I think what's really going on there. What we're supposed to take from that is that what's really happening is he's saying, I never wanted this money. What I want is my dad back.
Yeah.
Like I lost my dad. That's what I miss. That's what I need. And this money isn't going to, and this man isn't my dad, but like, it's just bringing up these feelings about, I don't want this money.
He only kept the secret because it was the last thing his dad ever told him.
Right. It was the connection to his dad.
Yeah.
That's what the secret really is. What is a little kid going to do with money anyway? He doesn't know how to spend $10,000.
He's going to get arrested himself.
Yeah, exactly.
But we
do get a little more. Like I said, a lot of movies would just
there's this
I feel
epilogue.
I feel like you could have ended the movie with him like no, don't, and hitting the money, and that could have been the final shot.
They remake, right? I'm sure this is always on someone's. They made a TV movie in the '90s of this, but this is, I'm sure, always on someone's list. And someone goes, "No, you don't need to do that." But if they did, it would end.
It might end there.
It would either end there or something worse. Mitchum, because he is such a good villain, gets out one more time, and it's almost more Cape Fear.
Yeah.
Weird way.
Oh, so a dumber, worse movie, you mean?
Yes.
Also, like, if it did end there, we wouldn't get the finale, which wouldn't let us know that this is a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and fast forward. My favorite part of the epilogue, though, is we get Icy
Spoon, of course, now baying for blood. At the,
she is
one of those. I knew all along.
She's leading the lynch mob.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. There's a fucking lynch mob. I was not expecting
lynch mob that, like, also I love that, like, technically they're on the same side, but Rachel doesn't want anything to do with them either. She's like, these fucking people are crazy. But I gotta protect these kids from the people who want vengeance in their name.
Yeah, Rachel seems like, and the kids seem bothered by it all. They're just like, we want to be done with it. And you have that harrowing great moment.
Well, also, John doesn't figure him at the trial. John,
you keep beating me to it.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to step on your line there.
No, it's fine. Just John, that's the big. I think that, and then that ending, like the last minute, is the biggest part of it. Is John? He's on the stand, and they're like, "Is that the man?" He doesn't. He's done talking. He doesn't even want to think. point a finger. It's, everyone knows the guy is, but John's done. It's so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like because also at the same time, like John, I mean, and Pearl too, but like it's not, are like happy. They do have their like mother again.
Right. Yeah. Right. He doesn't want to confront that. He doesn't want. Yeah. He doesn't want to look over there and see the eyes of Robert Mitchum on him.
And but it ends and it's Christmas time, and she's like, "I got gifts and everything," and it's sweet. It's kind of sweet. See, but the scene
we get a little
watch.
hangman payoff that we talked about. The hangman.
Yes.
They drag Robert Mitchum away, and the hangman's like, "I'm happy to be still on the job. I'm so glad I'm here to do this killing."
Oh, what a bit.
It's so funny. It's like, wow, that's really like definitely a thing that you would cut if you made this now, but like just it's got to be in the book. That's the only thing I can think of. It must be in the book.
I don't know. I don't, like I said, the only thing I know about the book, and I'm second guessing myself here, is that like I can't remember if it was the real killer or the book. The real killer, some iteration, like I said, even though the real guy who did this or not, it was a businessman and not a preacher. That I
don't know what the deal with the hangman is, but it's such a funny little bit at the end to have him be like, "Well, glad I didn't quit, so I can hang this piece of shit. Yay!" But then we have our little Christmas ending, and it's very nice. John gets a watch we had seen him looking at earlier in the window with Pearl. Everybody's happy. Ruby gets a nice brooch to pin on her pointy 50s bra.
She's so pumped, though. By the way, I was wrong. In the book, he was also some sort of preacher. It's the real guy. It's a businessman. When he duped a ton of wives and kids. And
okay, now whoever's watching this, go back into the comments and erase your comment where you corrected Joe. Take it out. He got it. He got it himself.
Because we get those.
Stupid Joe. He didn't even know that the real.
Because he gets those comments all the time.
So many people are constantly commenting in our.
They're like, you guys are so bad. You're so good, though. Speaking of that. The article, I should have said this at the top. The article that I wrote is coming out on the 13th. It's coming out in a couple days. So
by the time this comes out, it'll be out.
Yeah. You'll be able to read it. It'll be promoted on our stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you check our Twitters. We'll definitely been retweeting.
But the sidetrack there. Back to the Night of the Hunter. So it does end. It ends it just ends happy.
It ends on a happy note, and I feel like that's a 50s thing. You don't have those downer endings back then very much.
Well, even because it's been the Wikipedia here, and I want to, I guess, talk about it at the front. Even it's because posters were so important then, because people weren't watching trailers. Even its poster doesn't really sell the thriller.
No. They definitely talk about it on the features too, how they struggled to sell the movie.
Yeah, because it's
convey what it's about.
Because the name Night of the Hunter, that's a scary, impactful thriller name. But then the poster is just Shelley Winters, I'm looking at it right now, on her knees, holding Robert Mitchum's
begging
hand.
Robert Mitchum, right?
Yeah. And then you see
he's got
two
the
older
knife
women
in the other hand, right?
No, it's not even.
No, not even the knife. No.
There might be a poster like that, but it's very this morning we were married, and now you think I'm going to kiss you, hold you, call you my wife. That's the quote. And then it says the scenes, the story, the stars, but above all, the suspense.
I guess they might be banking on the fact that the book was popular and a little well known, and maybe that's what they're hoping for.
I want to almost guess more so people will go see it if they think it's about a woman trying to pine after Robert Mitchum.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
Because all these posters were back then were just to get your ass in the theater.
Yeah.
So anyway, that I thought it was interesting. Cause like I said, someone with that name, Night of the Hunter, you could probably.
It's a good name.
Yeah, I would think something honestly, Mitchum standing there in this great, this great oil painted look with the river in the back or something with the kids out of the boat. That would.
I'm sure there's some incredible fan posters out there. Probably.
Sure.
One thing I wanted to talk about real quick that again I saw on the DVD, the Blu-ray was really cool. There's a deleted scene that Shelley Winters and Peter Graves performed on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yes, I did hear of that.
Did you watch it at all?
I did not
really
watch
pretty
it.
good. It's about he's in prison and she goes to visit him. They're talking. And again, I'm not going to get into the, but I did think what I felt mostly was that there was good chemistry between Peter Graves and Shelley Winters, and that like we missed out on having a little of that in the movie and maybe seeing them together a little bit,
I heard that too, but I heard it differently, or like I read differently. It was just for the thing. Yeah, I mean, the Mitchum and Shelley Winters should be more screen time, and like that's your stars, right? But I heard, and I read it. I shouldn't have read it. Is that they did that, and they were going to, reading from the book, and she was not thrilled because he was pretty drunk doing it and not taking it like he did not take things like that seriously.
Oh, okay. Well, no, not Robert Mitchum though. It was Peter Graves, who played her husband. Who plays Ben's dad. No, that's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I thought. I think maybe there was another thing I read. It's in the.
No, this was them. So it's him visiting John and Pearl's dad, her visiting John and Pearl's dad before he gets killed, before he's hung in prison. And I just thought they had good chemistry, and that they could have like maybe a scene of that should have made it into the movie. To see them together might have like informed her character.
This could have benefited. This could have benefited from like a scene or two, like more like the only time you see the dad, it said it's more of the dad's memory of what happened and him giving the money away than so much of a scene. Yeah, definitely. But I'm so glad we got a chance to talk about this movie this week. Anything else you'd want to add? I kind of...
No, I mean, I feel like we were pretty thorough, and we made it through most of my notes, I think. So.
Good. Well, then I'm just going to end us here.
I mean, I think, like, again, like... This is just an all-timer. I mean, nothing to really say about this. One of those ones like Casablanca and Citizen Kane and Sunset Boulevard, where like it 100% lived up to the hype for me. Like I watched it and I was like, "Yep, I get why everybody fucking loves this."
Yeah, I get. Like I was like same way. Like went to go hit the end, and I get why everyone likes it. I'm glad I own it. I fucking throw this on again.
Absolutely, it's honestly got it's horror, but it's got like kind of laid back vibes, sort of too. Like it's
not heavy,
maybe because it's kind of a road movie a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's got a little travel in the middle of it.
It's not. It's not this big heavy movie that like. I mean, it's you know what I'm saying. It's just a road movie.
Yeah. Well, I think you can take it that when you sit down with it and you actually are like sitting with the themes and stuff. I do feel that, like I said, it's not horrific in that way, but like definitely like the social aspects and the anxiety I feel for the kids and like their situations is all there. But it's also just like a cool, beautiful movie full of good performances that you can just like watch and be like, damn, this is some good art here.
Yeah, I'd love to show this to my I actually would be like, Laura, sit down. We're gonna have
we're gonna class it up.
Yeah. Nah, man, I'm really happy with this purchase of mine. But yeah, that is one of those movies, like you said, it's like the Casablanca, your Citizen Kane, and these older movies where I go to hit the letterbox. I'm like, why am I not going to give it 5 stars?
Right. Well, what would I gain by giving it 4.5 instead?
Like, I think I think those like movies like that, like if that was your thing, you're like, I watch old Hollywood black and white pictures. Sure.
When you have more nuance and there's more like little kind of like,
But I'm clocking maybe 2 of these a year, 3, if I want to. No, and when I'm watching them,
we're very rarely going farther back than the 70s.
Yeah, when I'm watching them, it's more of like an exercise or like, like I think we talked about
I do enjoy expanding into some older stuff, and it's like, and I almost never regret it. Like almost anytime I've watched something like that, I've enjoyed it, or at least felt it was worth my time, even if it wasn't even if it didn't like end up being an all timer. You know
what's a good comparison? If we're watching a movie like this, or even another one in the future, will be like Carnival of Souls, right? Like
I was just about to say,
like, okay, that's great, or like I've Citizen Kane 2 and that, and I've seen this, blah blah blah. Great. It's not like today we're like, oh, this is like a modern shitty movie and I'm going to throw it on because it's easy to watch in background. Like I did for 20 minutes of that terrible Jason Biggs movie, Loser. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But like that movie exists from the 50s, but why would I give that the time of the day?
Yeah.
When it,
yeah, I don't need to watch the Jason Biggs movie of 1955.
That's what I'm saying. Like, right? So
the cream rises. I can just watch the good shit that stood the test of time.
The batting average is better, and like socially or inherently, it's easier to watch a bad modern movie because it's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Throw away background trash. You know.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, as always, my love, my friends, everyone, you all, you know where to find us.
Oh, so good.
You know how to stay frightful, everyone. Bye.